Inside America's Islamic community, one of the fastest growing populations is Latino. And the epicenter of that movement is here in Houston, Texas, home to not only one of the largest Latino communities, but also one of America's largest Muslim communities. Just 350 miles away from the Mexican-American border during one of the worst deportation crises in recent history, and less than a year from the Muslim ban.
We gotta go and we gotta knock the shit out of these people.
I've come here to meet Jaime. Jaime?
Yeah, I'm Lee.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
The founder of America's first Islam and Spanish Center, to find out why two of America's most discriminated groups are actually coming together.
Whenever people come in, we let them know that, look, it's not a traditional mosque. We're the only producers in the world producing material in the Spanish language and distributing it, at the mass level.
People who come through the center, do they come here thinking in the ways that the media has portrayed Muslims?
Most definitely.
Or believing the things that the media has portrayed about Muslims?
Most definite. In fact, that's the default. When people come in here, before coming in here, we know they have preconceived notions. If I didn't know Chinese people, and on the media it says Chinese people kill people who are not Chinese, I wouldn't want a Chinese neighbor.
Right.
It's just common sense. That's the reason why we built this place.
Yeah.
Getting rid of some of these misconceptions. Then they start thinking, why don't I know this stuff?
Jaime, what brought you to Islam?
I grew up in Houston, and when I came here, I was 8 years old. All I knew was Colombia and Venezuela. I previously lived there. So I'm one of those immigrant youth that came to America. My parents wanted for me to have a better future. When I got here, I realized that the culture here was a bit different than what my parents expected. And we were having a lot of issues in regards to gangs popping up in the environment. And there was some troubled times where, unfortunately, I saw some of my friends get killed, people getting strung out on drugs, and it was a survival mode. I looked for answers, and I looked at so many different religions. And someone who gave me the Quran, I began to read it, and the more I read it, the more life made sense. My mother thought I was brainwashed when I became Muslim because I stopped drinking alcohol, going out, the girls, all the stuff that I had easily, I let go of it. And it was great that I did it at the time I did it, because a few months later, a lot of my friends got caught in some stuff that put them in trouble. And I'm like, man, that choice of me accepting Islam saved me from that.
America is not the most kind place to Latino immigrants right now. So why would you subject yourself to being that double minority?
I don't think being a Muslim and being Latino is putting me in a position of weakness. It actually puts me in a position of strength. I have to be the best Latino I can be now. You gotta be the best Muslim.
We're in the north side of Houston, about 45 minutes from the Islam and Spanish Center, and we're gonna go meet up with Raul. Raul is a DACA dreamer from Mexico that converted to Islam in 2011 at the age of 19, and has since become an active member of the Islam and Spanish Center. But like many Latino converts, Raul's family disowned him for becoming a Muslim.
I was exiting high school. I was not doing so good spiritually. I was going through depression. Also, I'm under DACA as well. At the time, I didn't have papers. So, I'm getting paid, like $5 to wash the dishes an hour and stuff like that. A lot of people take advantage of immigrants. And that's when I really started getting an idea of, what is Islam and how deep it was and how it wasn't what the media was portraying. And it was what literally cured my depression.
Are you concerned at all being a DACA dreamer and now being Muslim?
Oh man, it's like a double whammy for me.
Yeah.
With Trump, it was just like, one, I'm Latino, and two, I'm Muslim. It's just like I'm gonna get attacked from all sides. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Allahu Akbar.
¿Te ocupa, Nico?
No, está bien. Ya están todos afuera. Basically, my mom found out that I was studying Islam, and she pretty much kicked me out of the house and threw all my clothes out. She said I was joining a terrorist organization, a cult, and they were training me to kill people. At the time, like also I stopped eating pork, so my mom was just like, when I fed you beans, I would put pork on there on purpose. It was like straight up rejection. I remember eventually my mom started coming into the community, seeing the rest of the people. They were like, all these people would come up to my mom like, hey, you know, your son's like going out there feeding the homeless, being a good member of the community and stuff like that, all these things. And my mom just comes up to me and she's like, how come you didn't tell me you did all these things? And I was like, we never asked. You weren't interested, so I didn't tell you. I believe them seeing how much change Islam had in me, it's like when they started seeing it's like, okay, this isn't necessarily bad. You know, he's still Raul, and if anything, he's becoming a better person. My mom accepted Islam just a few months ago at El Centro Islamic.
Ashhadu an la.
Were you there when she did?
Well, yeah, most definitely. She decided to do it on her own, and it was very, very mind-blowing.
Perdón por mi reacción, pero le hice tan difícil a mi hijo la religión que yo decía que no iba a ser de esta religión. Y aquí estoy.
The next day, my mom told me that she hasn't felt that much peace in years. Islam, it changes everything.
We've heard from a number of converts that we've spoken to that there was an immediate rejection within their family to their conversion. And I'm curious if you can comment on that, why members of the Latino community are so resistant to their own neighbors, sons, daughters, wives, and husbands converting to Islam.
In one word, ignorance. It's lack of education. It's misinformation, right? So this is part of the hangover from 9/11.
Allahu Akbar.
A lot of people in this country who are not Muslim have certain ideas which are steeped in stereotypes. So they see Islam as oppressing women. They see Islam as being backward.
Allahu Akbar.
They see Islam in association with ISIS and Al-Qaeda and violence. All things which can be factually disproven if we just look at the reality.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers.
Today is the Muslim holiday of Eid, and for a number of the members of the Islam and Spanish Center, this is going to be their first major Islamic holiday. So we're going to go inside and meet some of the members of this community and find out what this transition has been like. Did you guys have any misconceptions about Islam or about Muslims before you became Muslim?
Terrorists.
Yes.
Terrorists. My family makes jokes. My brothers mostly. They're like, oh, you're going to the masjid. Oh, they're teaching you to make bombs or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Terrorism is not from Islam. These types of acts are not, from this religion.
From what I knew before when I became a Muslim to now, yeah, it's totally different.
How has Islam impacted your cultural identity?
I'm still Puerto Rican, from when I wake up till I go to sleep.
Alcohol. Something
Mine
similar
was actually-
happened.
We still have our culture, we still have our language and everything.
I'm still Mexican. I still like the same food. I still eat all of y'all food. And I just, my faith has changed.